Oh, let's see. Back in Brockton, DW Field Park, and you can see in the backdrop the old watchtower. For those of you who didn't know, it's been here. Hell, it's been here as long as I've been alive. But nice day. I wanted to get out. I wanted to make a video outside. I took a trip to Maine recently to visit some friends. Weather was okay. I mean, yeah, some rain, some snow squalls. Probably what you expect from Maine, especially in, early April or mid-April. But otherwise, it wasn't bad. It just I got some walking in, but couldn't take any pictures or any major ones or make any videos with the pad. I'm just worried about the weather, ruining or interfering with the pad. So, erred on the side of caution. But I digress. That is not why I'm making this video. There's a podcaster, pagan podcaster, Dutch pagans. Gentleman's first name is Remy, and kind of gave me a spark I needed. It was the video I had just seen was about the rise of paganism, especially in Europe, and I think I could see a lot of his reasons why people are turning to paganism. So it basically he had very good reasons. I'm going to try to copy it into the description later. But I think it is, people are very disillusioned with Abrahamic religions, the mainstream religions, Christianity, Catholicism, Islam. I mean, for any number of reasons. Their constant involvement in politics, let's face it, the war, the conflict in the Middle East that has been, reaching highs and lows constantly for decades. People want something real and tangible. And people feel disconnected, like he said. And I agree. There are a lot of people, myself included, that have always felt disconnected. Always wanting more, always seeing more. But other faiths just seem to have it, And yes, I'm kind of freestyling this one. I don't have a script. So I hope you understand. And yeah, this is a busy park when the days are nice. So if there's any extraneous noise, I apologize for that. But when I started walking this path, see, this is why I follow this, because I don't have to justify it. I know in my heart this is the right place to be. And it doesn't require approval. It doesn't require a debate. It doesn't require adherence to the Ten Commandments or to the Bible. These holy texts are used as a leash, as a club, saying if you don't do it this way, you're going to be punished. Or you've done something wrong, or you've done, I think you all get the idea. Now, that's not to say that, this is where I get a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? I won't trash anybody's holy text. especially the Bible, because I do know that there are passages in the Bible that are, sources of great wisdom and comfort for people. And if there are people, and I know I've said this before, if your path is Christianity or Islam or Judaism or Buddhism, then I'm all for it. I'm not going to, say you have to convert or this is going to happen to you. That is not me. And when I chose to take, or when I joined up with the Universalist Life Church, which is an organization that gives a great deal of flexibility in terms of worship and how you do your ministry and such, I said I was not going to be the type to preach dogma. That just is a total turn off for me. And I think a lot of people are tired of that too. I mean, you have people preaching one thing and then they're going out and doing something entirely different. Well, guess what? We were all born with free will. But with free will does come a price. We have to accept the consequences of our actions. We have to be responsible for this. So, do I also believe that some people may look at, Norse paganism and other pagan faiths as just a sense of freedom, that they think it's a free-for-all or a party or all like that because there's no hard, fast rules. Well, not exactly. I would definitely say with the concept of separation of church and state that paganism does understand that. Because it's not as rigid as it's not rigid. There is no overseer from a religious point of view. It's not a theocracy. But understand this, if you break societal cultures and norms and laws, yes, you have to answer for them. So, but that also being said, those who choose to, I will also say that those who embrace alternative lifestyles, there are some, especially with the Norse pagan, that would reject you. And I know I've said this before. I would not reject you, but I would also be transparent and say if you're going to follow a pagan path, especially a Norse pagan one, yes, you have to be prepared for pushback and a challenge. Because there are those, even in modern times, that would not welcome you. And I know that there were scattering accounts of people that they had the same problem. Their behavior, their lifestyles were not within societal norms for those villages, those cities, so to speak. I mean, the other reason I chose Norse paganism, or paganism in general, is there's a lot of adaptation to this. So I just want to reiterate a few things with that. But he talked about the problems in Europe, which I understand, churches being torn down, a lot of people leaving the faith. Talked about atheists, where they say they don't believe in anything spiritual. Subconsciously, he said that they find something to believe in. Usually something terrestrial, whether it's politics or science, which I think we see that now. I know I see that. So, trying to make sure I hit all the points here. Now, I can tell you this much. Let me get to something else personal concerning my trip to Maine. Yeah, I think I'd like to move up there. I think it's a hell of a lot more peaceful than it is in Massachusetts. Definitely has its own... Well, I think time goes by a lot more differently. Plus, that area of Maine, a lot of nature out there. And I definitely felt grounded and connected. Just like I am when I'm in this park. And with the sun on my face. Although there was less sun up in Maine, but, that's neither here nor there. But that's kind of what I've been working towards the last, close to a year. So I'm working on trying to get resources together, trying to get set up there. So, but yeah, I want to help people try to find their path. Trying to guide them to where they need to be. I don't want to be some overseer with a rod and a staff and a Bible bashing them on the head. It's not me. I think we have enough of that in the world today, whether it's in one religion or the other. What I am looking to try to do is guide people, help them find their divine truth, their light, so to speak. And if it's not in a pagan setting, hey, I'm fine with that. You know what? I would wish you well. Before I sign off, I want to say one other thing. He mentioned that even in a pagan setting, he said the big difference with paganism, whether it's Norse or any of the others, and religions like Judaism, Christianity, Islam, is that you don't necessarily have to have faith to walk through the door. And I don't ask for that. I ask for some respect. I ask for an open mind, which I know is a hard thing these days. And question all you want. Because that's the only way, or at least that's one of the ways we're going to learn and we're going to gain some wisdom, is we have to question when we don't understand. Too many times we take everything we see online for granted. That's the big example. Or what we see on television for granted. That we trust it automatically. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 1970s, 1980s, I would have agreed with you. But now I don't. Now you have to question everything. Now you have to find your own answers. Used to be you had them provided to you. I've seen it, I started seeing it about 20. And the reason I say this, I think I see it more. I started seeing it 25 years ago, 9/11, 2001. That's when I started seeing the manipulation. That's when I started seeing the fake stuff. And it's just gotten worse these days. So, another tidbit of wisdom for you. But, I wanted to think this was kind of a catch-all. So, I'm going to sign off. And again, to Remy at Dutch Pagans, thank you for this. Hopefully, I haven't lost your message in the translation, but I definitely needed to hear it. And I'm going to make sure I share it with people. All right? Gonna sign off and try to make sure that my next video is not so long in between this one. All right, I'm gonna get out and enjoy the rest of the day here. Take care.